Hello, everyone. How we doing tonight? It's been a while. 1 week without seeing each other. Hope you all missed me. All right. It was a weird one. I appreciate all the kind words that were said in chat. Um, I don't want to revisit this, but sometimes you have some personal stuff to deal with, and there was an event that led to me taking a break for a week. I did want to let you guys know that we are back. Everything is back to normal, and we are coming back in force with 4 price action reviews this week. So you'll be seeing a lot of me, and of course, all recorded and posted on YouTube, just like always. I haven't looked at price last week, and I'm semi-thankful for that. Because especially on NASDAQ, it was a lot of back and forth, right? Just looking at a daily chart, we can tell right away. Sorry about that, guys. Needed a little sip of water. But as you can tell, not much happened last week on NASDAQ, more so on ES, right? And we're starting this new month now, right? NFP week, like we saw in the announcement, right? NFP week, first week of the month. What do we expect? Well, open high or open low, right? It's always the same. First week of the month is a very specific protocol. We expect one of the extremes to be made. If you have right statistics, you can tell bearish or bullish when it's going to be made, and the highest probability is going to be in the first 2 weeks, right? So we're looking for important structure to be made. Now, looking at this chart, seeing the SMT on the highs and all of the equal levels to the downside, right? We've been talking about this for what? Probably close to a month now, right? All of these levels, they are too clean, right? They're clear indications of a market maker model, right? Buy side of the curve and looking for sell side of the curve. But what do we always say? When we are bullish, don't try and call it a high, right? Because if I've been trying to short here at this point, and now at this point, well, this point would have worked out pretty well. But if you're framing every move to the downside as a reversal and not just a retracement, you're going to get stuck in moves you don't want to be stuck in, right? You're going to get stuck in areas where you don't want. Very simply, right? Sorry, guys, got a text. Let me just mute this. There we go. So we don't call out highs. So what do? Well, every time we have a down move, we of course adjust because higher time frame trending retracements lead to bearish weeks, right? So as day traders, we have to adjust intraday and interweek to our specific bias, right? We're not thinking long term. We're thinking today. Well, personally, with my model, I'm thinking today, what's the daily expansion going to be, right? So I'm not going to discuss about do I think now the reversal is right away, because it doesn't matter to me. So I don't even spend time in my own trading thinking about long-term moves. But I am ready for some downside, definitely. Specifically, seeing this SMT on the highs, it would be nice to see some sort of daily, previous week high SMT, right? So NASDAQ going to take out this level, or perhaps NASDAQ not taking out this level, right? As it is clearly the weaker asset between the two, and has been, well, actually they flipped right here, so hasn't been for a while. I'd like to see SMT form at these higher levels right here, so that I could start framing some downside. Now, taking into consideration it's NFP week, I could frame some upside all the way to NFP, and I'm going to expect NFP to be a reversal of that. But what is the intermediate term trend right now? Intermediate term, what do I mean by that? It's not what ICT means, whatever. For me, that's the last 2 to 3 weeks, right? And then I think about the last 2 to 3 months, right? That's always how I'm thinking. So now I can clearly tell we're bullish, right? So we've consolidated, but now we've hit a big objective, and we seem to be continuing to the upside. So if NASDAQ shows that it's going to keep going up, I'm going to adjust to that and keep going up. Keep longing. The main inefficiency I am looking at to come to any conclusion is going to be this one. Now you might ask yourself, why is it this one? Why is this one more important? Well, it's all about premium and discount for me. So I'm looking at this leg down whether you want to use the most recent range here or this range, this is your first premium inefficiency, and we can even be a little more precise and actually use this inversion fair value gap that we have right here, which is your actual first premium inefficiency. But what I'm looking for is the disrespect of this, right? So if I'm looking for higher prices, what is it going to do? Well, it's going to inverse this gap, then trade back lower intraday, of course, and then continue higher. I'm going to look for that. What type of news do we have? NFP week. I'm going to expect a classic buy week in this scenario. So just constant expansion in the same direction, or perhaps form a range somewhere Tuesday or Wednesday. We will break that range and then go higher going into NFP, right? That is what I'm considering if we invalidate these levels. Now, if we are respecting this level, and how would I choose that? Well, I want to see a continuation lower, right? So I want to see breaks below candles. I want to see trending condition candles. As you can see, this candle clearly closed far through the previous one. That is what I'm looking for intra-week to give me confirmation of my weekly direction. And then your objectives to the downside are very clear, right? We're looking here, and of course, considering SMT, right? I'm always going to be looking for turning points at key levels like this. So key liquidity on the higher time frame. I'm going to be looking at SMT in this particular case. But I did want to just visit, right? Because as we always do, we don't try and choose where it's going. It does not matter. I'm looking at my chart. I have my important levels plotted out. Based on what we do with those levels, I'm going to frame the rest of my week on it. But short term, what do we see? Okay, well, let's look at the symmetry. Price traded up into this premium array, right? These premium fair value gaps and inversion fair value gaps that we see. Actually, I don't like having different colors. That was a little weird. Let's actually put this a little width as well. All right, we traded up into here. Then we had a very nice reaction to the downside, right? Clearly on both assets. Even though there was no SMT at this point in time, on a higher time frame, there was on a shorter time frame. You can tell, this is last week we're talking about, you can tell with Monday right here. See how Monday formed the high of the week here? It did not on ES. A lot of divergence. But we had a nice reaction to the downside, and now we're returning higher. What does this tell you? Well, this is price telling me that this area was not my objective. It was not the target. If not, we would have traded into this and then expanded lower. The only possible outcome is we were consolidating. And last week was a lot of consolidation, but it had quite a decent range, right? 2% range, which is decent. Sorry, I just saw a notification for something. All right, we're good. So looking at all of this, it's a little confusing, all right? Because you're like, okay, well, that's not my objective, so then what is? Well, it's always going to be the next thing over, liquidity. But currently there's SMT at this point. So what trumps it, right? How do you decide what I'm going to listen to? The inefficiencies are telling me it's going lower, and price is telling me it's going higher. Well, I don't have to. What am I going to use? Intraday sessions to profile. If I see bullish power of 3, bullish structure form, since I trade New York, if I see Asia accumulate, then London form what seems to be an important point in structure, right? How do we know that? London is my time variable, price variable. I need a swing point formed with SMT. That is what I regard to as important structure. And then is going up, and this is New York open right here, right? What am I going to expect? Retracement, continuation, right? That's bare bones profiling that I use a lot of statistics for, but just in general, that's what you're looking for, right? In the best case scenario. So then I'm going to use London and understand that this is how I'm going along. What if London forms a range and we have a big Judas swing, and now this is New York open? Well, I'm just going to go trade to go target the other side of that range. So in these cases, until I get a clear daily bias, right, a clear weekly direction, which, as we said, this is telling me I'm bearish. This is telling me I'm bearish, Returning to this inefficiency tells me I'm bullish. How do I know? Well, once we expand away, so we either expand away to the downside and I'm going to trust this point, or we expand away to the upside and validating these inefficiencies, which confirms higher pricing. So it's going to do one of these two things. But until it does, so I'm talking about how I'm trading tomorrow, and perhaps even Tuesday, we won't have some clear structure up until then. I'm going to be looking purely at daily profiling and utilizing sessions. And of course, I have my key levels of previous week high and previous week low, as always, right? You don't even have to know it's previous week high or low. You can just tell that these are important points in structure, right? They are swing points. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I wanted to bring a little more detail into it, because whenever I say it's unclear, I'm going to wait until further down in the week. Of course, at the end of every price action review, we're going to take a second and discuss about, okay, well, now that today happened, what do I expect for the rest of the week? But I like to walk you guys through the thought process that it takes to be a trader, and more specifically a day trader, right? You have to be able to change to the current conditions. And I'm not telling you guys to try and trade every direction and be ready for every move and just be, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Trying to long everything, trying to short everything, and always flipping direction. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you have to adjust to what the week is currently doing. And the best way to frame that, in my mind, is going to be weekly profiles, right? So I'm going to wait to see what Monday does, look for more sorts of scalps. So I'm not looking to trade the daily expansion, just looking to trade session liquidity frameworks. And then later on in the week, as we get more structure, for example, we expand higher, we formed the order block from last week, then I can start trusting it and go long, probably prioritizing ES. I might trade ES again. It's been a while. Perhaps it will be this week. And if we just start going lower and lower and we expand away from this area, well, I'm going to look for continuation lower. Do we have any questions in relations to what we just discussed? I need your feedback on these things, because I want to make these calls more educational, right? I want to be able to help you guys more so than just give you guys my outlook. Okay, what do I think I want to see this week? Whatever, right? And of course, that's a useful tool. You guys have seen, if it's not your first time here, right? You guys have definitely seen the consistency. It's all posted live, right? It's all public. But I want to make these more of a tool so that you can learn to do what it takes to make that outlook. The end goal is not having 1,000 people in here. The end goal is having someone come for a few months and then they don't have to come in the events anymore. That's why it's not advertised in a certain way, because the goal is for you guys not to come anymore. You want to come and chill any point in time and verify your work, you're always welcome to. But I want to make these educational. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. No questions. Very simple tonight. Glad to see all of you here. I wish you all the best of luck trading this week. We're going to see each other very much for our price action reviews. You guys have a great night. Enjoy.